Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. Oftentimes, we find the DCEU constantly being compared to the MCU. And while the DCEU might have some mixed responses from the various types of films that have come out, there's no denying that there are some really amazing characters behind the movies that exist in both the DCEU and just generally the DC Comics and the DC Comic verse and the movies that came out before the DCEU officially started. And since we recently did the top 10 best superpowers or fight moves coming from Marvel characters, we decided to do the same for DC in today's video. So without further no particular order, Alright, so this one is really the only one that's not in the DCEU, even though we're pretty sure eventually it's going to get made. But it's one of the more recent DC movies, at least before the DCEU became a thing. So we still wanted to count it, especially because the powers that the Green Lantern had were pretty cool, and even though Ryan Reynolds makes for a much better Deadpool, his performance was at least alright. Number 9, Aquaman.
The war is coming to the surface. And I'm bringing the wrath of the seven seas with me.
While Aquaman's movie is coming out later this year, we did get to see Aquaman in Justice League, and actually the character for the most part worked out pretty well, especially because this character was kind of corny for the longest time, or had the reputation of being corny, but his really awesome powers that we got to see in all the fight scenes really proved to be something unique and cool. Number 8, El Diablo from Suicide Squad. One of the most redeeming qualities of Suicide Squad was the overall arc that El Diablo took, but we can't deny that it's really awesome that he has the power to control fire just like that, and it's a character that we hopefully one day will make a return and we get to see a little bit more of, just because the character was pretty unique. Number 7, Cyborg.
Isn't the plan?
No, Master Wayne.
This is the team.
Hey, blame the lady. We would have left you, but she didn't ask for a vote.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
This is another character that was introduced in Justice League and actually worked out pretty well. This character has the unique ability to have instant weaponry, which is pretty cool, and this character kind of exists as DC's own Iron Man to its own extent, but this character also has its own unique background that differentiates this character from Iron Man. Number 6, Deadshot from Suicide Squad. Another one of the redeeming characters out of Suicide Squad, Deadshot, played by Will Smith, was actually a pretty comedic character, or served for a lot of comic relief that worked out really well, plus his really awesome aim and just the whole scene from the shooting range was pretty spot on. Before we get into number 5, if you like what we do here and you like these type of discussion videos we make, consider checking out our Patreon and pledging a couple of dollars if you can. It helps support everyone on the Film Artsy team, and we would really appreciate that support, while also providing some extra perks that you get as a behind the scene to what we do. Link in the description down below to our Patreon, and let's get back into our list. Number 5 goes to Captain Marvel, or better known as Shazam.
You're like a bad guy, right?
Gentlemen! You have bullet immunity!
I'm bulletproof.
This character has the ability to turn into a grown man with superpowers, which is just kind of a unique premise, and we're really excited to see how this goes. But from what we've seen, having the super strength and the bulletproof and a lot of similarities to Superman, it's going to be fun to see a more light-hearted version, almost a parody of Superman, and from the clips we've seen, it looks pretty promising. and is one of the quintessential and top most important characters in the DCEU. Well, he's a rich billionaire, and that definitely has something going for him because he's able to have the resources to create different versions of the Batman suit that give him various different gadgets and abilities that definitely makes him comparable to the superheroes that have something supernatural about him, even though Batman's just technically a regular person with martial arts skills. And that's the one thing that sets Batman apart that's really cool. Number 3, Wonder Woman.
You're too late. The countdown's already begun. In a few minutes, 4 city blocks. While the world watches.
Wonder Woman has played a really interesting role in the DCEU, kind of having different movies that span different time periods, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, Wonder Woman is pretty much invulnerable and doesn't age, and that's a unique trait and ability besides her actual superpowers, like her lasso and other things. Number 2, The Flash. The Flash is a character that we never really thought would have a portrayal on screen for a while, and now there's 2 universes with the Flash in it, and both individual portrayals were pretty well received. But either way, the ability to run lightning fast is pretty awesome, and we're excited to see more on the big screen in the overall DCEU, which will be really cool. And finally, number 1, Superman. Just straight up invincible. He can't die, he's invulnerable, he has his weaknesses, and I guess technically he could die, but for the most part, to a regular enemy, he's pretty strong, but still extremely entertaining to watch, and that's unique in himself, and it's an icon of a generation, and we really appreciate Superman, and he definitely deserves his place on this list. Well, that's our list. Let us know in the comment section what you thought. Did we miss any heroes that you think deserved a spot on this list? Let us know. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video.